Hello, I'm Will, this is Mike, we're the Tabletop Donkeys.
Hello.
And welcome to the first episode in our Crusade narrative campaign featuring the Silver Templars and the Necrons. After the Korvon II campaign, the Silver Templars' 5th Company under Captain Palmas have followed the trail of Lord Felthius of the Death Guard to the Artana system. And here on the 3rd planet they have been following some strange readings. The Strike Force under Lieutenant Escadon, who's in the middle there, have followed these readings out to an abandoned mausoleum district on this backwater Imperial world. And this does constitute a patrol detachment of Silver Templars, 25 power worth, and these are drawn from a larger Crusade order of battle, and we'll get into all of that at the end of the video after we've played this game, but I'll let Mike explain exactly what you're seeing here.
This detachment's going to be led by Lieutenant Escadon in the middle, so he's survived his campaign on Korvon II, and he's got himself a storm shield and a neo-Volkite pistol and a mastercrafted power sword. And he also has the accomplished duelist warlord trait from the Silver Templars little supplement, which means he always fights first in the fight phase, and if he charges or is charged or does a heroic intervention, he gets to reroll wounds. And we have Squad Leos of Assault Intercessors, so 5 men. Squad Galanis, who are this squad of intercessors with bolt rifles, and there's Squad Oscus on the other side, also from Korvon II, and they've got their stalker bolt rifles and grenade launcher, so there's 3 troops choices, and then there's Squad Sideris at the back, a squad of 3 eradicators. We have the Bomb Marshal chapter tactic, so it's essentially duelists and master artisans, so you get to reroll 1 hit roll, and melee attacks that hit roll of 6 automatically wound. Also, this detachment costs 1 crusade point because of Escadon's warlord trait.
And they've come out to this abandoned mausoleum district following some strange seismic readings, and when they arrive they find fissures and collapses in the ground which have exposed strange machinery that they don't recognise. But all of a sudden, out of the mists emerge a force of the dreaded Necrons. What they're doing here, nobody knows, but they have immediately moved to attack the brave Silver Templars. So this again is a patrol detachment of 25 power drawn from a larger Crusade roster, which we'll show you at the end again. These are from the Saltec dynasty. Their dynastic trait means that they can fire rapid fire weapons up to 18 inches and get 2 shots rather than the usual 12. They can also reroll failed morale tests, and they also gain a benefit in the command protocol of the Conquering Tyrant, but that's not going to be relevant for this army, as you'll see. Leading this small force is the Cryptek Plasmancer Fotis, who you can see here, flanked by his 2 Crypto Thrall bodyguards. He doesn't have a warlord trait or a relic or anything special about him, he's just stock, although he will be the warlord for this force. Then there are 2 squads of Necron warriors. On the right we have Phalanx Aleph with their Gauss Flares, and on the left Phalanx Bet with their Gauss Reapers. Over here in these ruins there is a unit of 3 Canoptic Scarab bases, and in Strategic Reserve there is a unit of 3 Scorpec Destroyers, the Avengers. That does cost a command point to put them in Strategic Reserves. Because I have no Crusade points in my army list, I do start the battle with 3 command points nonetheless, because I gain an extra 1 for the difference in Crusade points. Now, I don't have a Noble model in this army, so I won't be able to use the command protocols that the Necrons have. And this mission will be Sweep and Clear, the first of the combat patrol level Crusade missions. We rolled off to be the attacker and defender, and I picked the defender and picked my deployment zone. But we placed 4 objective markers. We've got 1 over here, which is a seismic monitoring station. 2 along the centre line of the battlefield, which are again some sort of seismic sensors. And 1 up in the top corner in this ruin with the scarabs in it, which is some sort of relic sword which has been unearthed with the destruction of these tombs, and the Silver Templars are keen to reclaim it. The mission objectives are Capture and Control, which is a progressive objective. At the end of each player's command phase, after the first, you gain victory points, or 10 victory points for each of the following conditions that apply: controlling 1 or more objectives, controlling objective marker in the opponent's deployment zone, and controlling more objectives than the opponent. And the objectives in this mission, once they are captured by a unit, then they remain under that player's control until they are taken away by an enemy unit, so you don't have to stay near them. And the game will last for 5 battle rounds, and whoever has the most victory points at the end. We also picked our agendas for this mission, and we both picked the Reaper agenda, which means that the unit in your army that kills the most enemy units gains 2 experience points at the end, or if there's a tie, then you can select which one gains the experience. And lastly, the rules for the terrain in this mission. All of the various ruined buildings that you can see will count as ruins, as from the main rulebook. With the large one in the centre, we're specifically going to say that the obscuring trait is going to be relevant. Normally, a ruin has to be 5 inches tall or more for obscuring to come into play, but in this case, we're going to say that this one has just collapsed and there's a big cloud of dust above it, so that it does provide the obscuring trait, and that applies to the whole of its footprint, the entire base. This statue of the Emperor over here is going to be Imperial statuary, so that provides light cover. It's also inspiring for Imperial units, which gains them +1 leadership if they're wholly within 6 inches of it. These mausoleums over here, the footprint encompassed by all of them will count as providing light cover, drawing lines from each base to the next. This mausoleum here is you're not going to be able to go inside it, but it will grant you light cover if you're on the base. And finally, this little wall over here is a ruined wall, as described in the main. So with that, we'll be on to the game, and we've already rolled off to see who goes first. Michael won the roll-off for the Silver Templars and decided to go first. So we'll be on to Space Marines, turn 1. As I said, we start with 3 command points each. I get 3 thanks to the bonus for having lower Crusade points, and in his command phase, the Space Marines gain 1 to go up to 4.
So we start with Squad Oscars. They're going to have to shuffle around a bit to be able to see some Necrons, I think.
Thanks to the way the mission works, these intercessors did control this objective at the start of the command phase, and they can move away from it, and it remains under their control. So we've marked it with a little marker to show that it has Space Marine control.
Yeah, black for Space Marines, green for Necrons. So in the middle, the Eradicators and Lieutenant Escadon have just moved up normally, so Escadon can maintain his aura range of everyone. The Intercessor Squad Gallinus has moved up, so they can see the Necron with the flares. And Squad Leos, the Assault Intercessor Squad, has advanced, and they're able to get in range of this other objective.
So that's it for movement, on to the shooting phase.
Yeah, so the Eradicators, I'm going to choose the Scarabs as their target of total obliteration, because the only unit they can see. And I think the way we've interpreted the rules is that the Eradicators will get to shoot twice, but I'll do each set of shots separately, because reanimation protocols will activate after the first half of their shooting.
Yeah, it's not entirely clear, because there is an explanation of saying something when something shoots again, but not when it shoots twice. So is that a separate shooting attack, or is it just the same shooting attack with all the guns shot twice? Don't know, but we're going to play it that way, because it seems to be the way that most things. Yeah. So I will get my reanimation protocols after the first round of shots, basically.
So we have 3 shots hitting on 3s, and I can re-roll 1 because of on Marshall, so 2 hits. Wounding on 2s, re-rolling 1s.
Yeah, they're toughness 3.
Re-roll that 1. 2 wounds.
Yeah.
AP minus 4, so straight to damage. 4.
Right, so the first one will destroy a Scarab base.
And 5.
That's 2 Scarab bases destroyed. But now I do get my reanimation protocol rolls. So this works a little bit differently to how it did in the previous Necron Codex, if you're familiar with that. Now, when models are destroyed, I get to roll a number of dice equal to the number of wounds of the destroyed models. If I get enough 5+ to bring back a whole model, then it comes back. So I'm really looking for 4 5+ out of 8 here, because each Scarab base has 4 wounds. I've only got 2, so that's not enough to reassemble a complete Scarab base, so that's just 2 destroyed. So I'll actually take the 2 from the front.
Second round of shots. Hitting on 3s. I've already used my re-roll, so I get 2 hits. Wounding on 2s, rolling 1s. Yep. Oh, 2d6 damage rather.
Yep, 2 go through. Right.
8.
8, so that's enough to destroy them, and because the whole unit's been wiped out, I don't get to reanimate that model.
Do you not?
So that is the Canoptic Scarabs destroyed, and that is a kill tally and a tally for the Reaper agenda for the Eradicators.
So I'll do Squad Oscars next with their Stalker Bolt rifles. So we'll put 3 Stalker Bolt rifles and a crack grenade into this squad, and the other 2 Stalker Bolt rifles into the other squad because they can't see the flare unit. So I'll do the crack grenade on the red dice because it hits on a 3, and the Stalker Bolt rifles hit on 4s because we moved. I'll re-roll that into a hit. I'll do the crack grenade. Wounds on a 3. It wounds.
Yeah, it's AP -1, and I have 5+, which I failed.
And bolt rifles wounding on 4s, rolling 1s. Ooh, AP -3.
Yes, because the Devastator Doctrine, so I get no save at all.
Yeah, so that's 4 dead Necrons.
So again, that's 4 wounds worth of models destroyed, so 5+ will bring back models though, because they only 1 wound each. Oh, I got 1. I'll take these ones off this end over here, but then 1 reanimates, and I will actually reanimate it further forward. It has to be in unit coherency.
The other 2 bolt rifles at the other unit, hitting on 4s. Well, they also hit, blimey. Wounding on 4s, rolling 1s. 2 wounds.
I'm in cover with this unit, so I do get a 6+ save against the AP -3. Oh, there's a 6.
Oh, you made 1.
So this is the end of their attacks, so I reroll animation. No, so I do lose a Necron from that unit.
And lastly, we've only got this unit of intercessors, Squad Gallinus. These 3 can see the unit of flayers, so they'll shoot them. Sergeant Gallinus and the intercessor in front of him can only see the thralls, so they'll shoot at the thralls. So I'll do the 3 on the warrior unit, hitting on 3s. They all hit. Wounding on 4s, rolling 1s. I mean, they all wounds as well.
And these are AP -1 at the moment, so 5+ saves. Nothing at all. Here's all the attacks on that unit, so I just reroll my reanimation protocols now. I do actually get to reroll 1s for reanimation protocols on warriors, so if I get any 1s... Oh, there's a 1. Oh, yeah, into a 6, so only 1 more goes down. Or again, I remove 3 and then set 2 back up, so I'll take away these 3 and we're gonna...
And then I've got 2 shots on the crypto thralls, hitting on 3s. Well, they hit. Wounding on 5s.
Yeah, they're toughness 5.
Yeah. Rerolling 1s. Oh, blimey, 2 wounds.
2 4+ saves, so they've got 3+ base. Made neither. They have reanimation protocols.
It's 2 wounds, so it'll go down.
Yeah, and doesn't save any of them, so that is a dead crypto thrall. Then we've got 6 warriors left and 1 dead crypto thrall.
So at the end of my shooting phase, I'm going to spend 2 command points for rapid fire. I'm going to play it on these intercessors, and they're just going to put all their shots into the larger Necron unit with the Gauss players. So red dice is the grenade launcher again. It'll be a crack grenade, which hits on 3s. White dice hit on 4s. Now I get to reroll 1 because of Master Artisans. Nope. Red dice wounds on a 3, and white dice wound on 4s. All rerolling 1s. They all wound.
The 2 bolt rifle shots are AP -3, so 6+ because of cover. No, and the crack grenade is just a 4+ because AP -1. Oh, I made that.
2 reanimations.
Yeah, and this is only for destroyed models in this shooting attack, so I don't get any of the ones who were killed previously. Roll 4, 5. Oh, they both came back. Reanimate them over there.
And that will be the end of my turn.
And I don't have to make any morale tests because my whole army's leadership 10, and models that were destroyed but then reanimated don't count as casualties for the purposes of morale, so those 6 warriors are okay. But we will be on to Necrons turn 1. So in my command phase I gain a command point going up to 4. And sadly I don't control that objective in my command phase, so it doesn't get a marker on it to control it permanently, which means I won't be able to score any victory points for it in the next battle round, is the important part of that. So these warriors of Phalanx Aleph have moved out of their ruin. And thanks to their increased rapid fire range, they are all within 18 inches of Squad Oscars. And over here, what's left of the Necron warriors with Gauss Reapers have advanced to get over here. They had to advance to get their weapons in range of the assault intercessors, but they are assault weapons, so they can still shoot. And the Plasma Monster is just in there. You can see the top of his glaive poking out of that ruin there. There you go. You can see it from the other side. You can see him tucked into the corner of the ruins there, and his Crypto Thrall with him. And they are within range of this objective, as are the warriors. And at the end of the movement phase, I can use his Harbinger of Destruction ability, so I roll 3d6, and on a 4+, the closest enemy unit takes mortal wounds for each 4. So the closest unit will be those Assault Intercessors over there. So 3 dice, looking for 4+. 1, so 1 mortal wound to the Assault Intercessors.
Well, this chat.
Then we will shoot with the Necron Warriors with Gauss Reapers. They're all in range of these Assault Intercessors, but they did advance.
I am going to spend a command point to play Transhuman Physiology on the Assault Intercessors.
So they're only wounded on 4s.
It would be 3s otherwise.
So we've got 12 shots hitting on 4s because we advanced. It's not too bad, that looks like.
Quite good.
That's 8 hits. Wounding on 4s thanks to Transhuman Physiology. Oh, there's a couple of 3s, so there's only 4 wounds at AP -2.
4 5+ saves. I made 2. Wounded man dies. Yeah, this man takes a wound.
We'll do the other squad of warriors next. The only target they can actually see is Squad Oscars over here in these ruins. I'm going to spend 2 command points for 2 stratagems. Relentless Onslaught, which is when firing with a rapid fire weapon, a 6 to hit, scores an additional hit. And a second one for Disintegration Capacitors, which is when firing a Gauss weapon, which these are, unmodified 6 to hit, automatically wounds. So we've got 18 shots, thanks to my increased rapid fire range, hitting on 3s, 6s, automatically wound and get an additional normal hit. Oh, there's a few 6s, 4 automatic wounds and 4 additional hits. So we've got 14 rolls to wound on 4s. Not so good, that's only 5 more. So that's 9 wounds in total at AP -1.
9 3+ saves. Failed 2. We'll take away this one.
And finally we have the Plasmic Lance from the Plasma Monster, which is Assault D3, Strength 7 AP -2, 2 damage, and an 18-inch range, and he'll shoot it at the Assault Intercessors. So D3 shots for 2. Hitting on 4s because he advanced. 1 hit. Wounds on a 3. Oh, that's a win.
6+ save. Ooh, not quite. Yeah, wounded man goes down.
But that's it for my turn. The Assault Intercessors only lost 2 models, so no morale tests required. So on to Space Marines turn 2.
So, in my movement, Squad Leos has just moved up normally, as of everyone in the middle essentially. We're all going to go after this cluster of Necrons. This squad can move and still will be able to get the double shooting for Bolter Discipline, because we're an Ultramarine successor, so we don't count as standing still. And then Squad Oscars is just going to stay where they are for the moment.
On to the shooting phase.
Yeah, we're going to start with Squad Galanis. They're going to shoot at the Necrons with Gauss Reapers. Because we're probably in rapid fire range, but we definitely get to shoot twice because of Bolter Discipline. So 10 shots, hitting on 3s. But I get to reroll 1 because of Bomb Marshal, so we got 6 hits. Wounding on 4s, rerolling 1s. 4 wounds.
With AP -2 because we're in tactical now, so 6 plus. No, failed all of them. And that's all the shots from that unit, so I'll just do reanimations on 5s. Oh yeah, rerolling 1s because we're warriors. Nope, still nothing. So that is 4 dead and nobody coming back. We'll remove these 4 here.
Next up, Escadon's going to fire his Neo-Volkite pistol at the Crypto Thrall.
He was in there somewhere.
He's got 2 shots hitting on 2s. He hits. Wounding on 4s, his strength 5. No, not rerolling 1s because he can't do that anymore.
No, he isn't a core unit, so he's no longer affected by his own aura.
Yeah. I'm going to do Squad Leos next. They're going to fire their pistols at the Crypto Thrall as well. And I will overcharge the plasma pistol that Sergeant Leos has.
And the reason for doing this, of course, is the Necron Warriors being only 2 don't provide lookout, sir, for the Plasma Archer anymore.
So we can shoot him with the Eradicators.
The Crypto Thrall does, though, thanks to its Special Protectors rule. So he needs to go.
So I'll do the red dice as the plasma pistol. 3 shots hitting on 3s. Ooh, I'll reroll it. I'll be dangerous. Oh, he blew up.
Oh no, that was a 1.
Yeah. 2. So that's the reroll cocked dice. Reroll the 1. Nothing at all.
No wounds.
And Sergeant Leos is killed by the exploding plasma pistol. We'll do the Eradicators next, and they're going to do total obliteration at the Crypto Thrall. So 3 shots, hitting on 3s. Well, they all hit. Wounding on 3s, rerolling 1s.
Yeah, tough to survive.
2 wounds.
No save, and well, it doesn't matter how much damage it does because you've got 2 wounds. They can't reanimate because that's the end of the unit. So that is killed.
And finally we've got Squad Oscars, and they're going to shoot at the other unit of Necron Warriors. So we have 4 Stalker Bolt Rifles, which are the white dice, and the red dice is the crack grenade from the grenade launcher. Hitting on 3s, reroll that with Bomb Marshal into a hit. The white dice wound on 4s, while the red dice wounds on a 3.
They're all AP -2, so I'll roll more at once, which will be on 5s. No, sorry, 6s. So no, and then 3 reanimation protocols. Well, made 2, so actually we only lose 1. So 3 will die. I'll take these and I will reanimate them in front like this. Gets me a bit closer to the objective.
Right, at the end of my shooting phase, I'm going to spend 2 command points to play rapid fire on this Intercessor squad, and they are going to shoot at the Plasma Archer because he's not protected by anything at the moment. So down to 0 command points, but we've got 10 shots hitting on 3s. And I get to reroll 1 because of Bomb Marshal into a hit. Wounding on 4s, rerolling 1s. Reroll that 1. Into a wound, so that is 5 wounds.
AP -2, but he is in cover, so these are 5 plus saves.
Ooh.
He made 3 of them, so he actually only takes 2 wounds. He has 4 in total.
Yeah. And the charge phase, Squad Leos, the remaining 2 are going to charge the unit with the Gauss Reapers. Charge distance, 6. It's going to be enough. So they're going to finish their charge like that.
At the start of the fight phase, we trigger the Living Lightning ability from the Plasma Archer, so every enemy unit within 6 inches on a 4+ takes a mortal wound. So 4+, oh yeah it does, so it takes a wound.
One of the remaining Assault Intercessors takes a wound, but then they get to fight and he'll pile in round so that he's in range of the objective. So
Yep.
2 Assault Intercessors of 8 attacks, hitting on 3s, and 6 is auto wound because we're duelists and you're an infantry unit. So there's 1 auto wound, and 4 regular hits, which wound on 4s, getting 2 more.
AP -1 on Astartes Chainsword, so 5 plus save. Failed 2, which means that both are wiped out and they don't get to reanimate. And that's a mark on the tally for the Assault Intercessors.
So the wounded Intercessor will consolidate, so we're both closer to the objective and they're both in cover in the ruins.
And that will be the end of Space Marines turn 2, on to Necrons turn 2. In my command phase, I gain a command point, going up to 3. The Plasma Archer regains a wound because of living metal, so he's up to 3. But at the end of the command phase, I do not score any victory points because that one objective which I did hold is now held by those 2 Intercessors. Phalanx Life have moved up to this objective to take it, and Plasma Archer has moved a bit further away, but I would like to get rid of those Intercessors so that I can claim this objective back. In the reinforcement step, the Avengers, my 3 Scorpic destroyers, have arrived over here. They have to be within 6 inches of a board edge, not in my opponent's deployment zone, and more than 9 inches from enemy models. So this is the best place I can get them. There's nowhere on the other side of the table I can fit them at all, thanks to where the Space Marines are, so they have to come in over here. And the front one is just over 9 inches from Squad Oscars, the ruins. And at the end of the movement phase, Harbinger of Destruction goes off, so it will be hitting these Assault Intercessors. So 3 dice looking for 4 pluses. 1 again, so 1 mortal wound.
So 1 Assault Intercessor remaining.
In the shooting phase, the Necron Warriors will shoot at Squad Oscars in the ruins over here. We'll spend another 2 command points, going down to 1 to use the same stratagems as in my previous turn. So we have 16 shots, hitting on 3s, 6s automatically wound and doing an extra hit. If I can get all the dice out of my hand, there's a couple of 6s. So 3 auto wounds, which also generate extra hits, so once again, everything hit effectively. And then wounding on 4s, that's 7 wounds.
We'll take away this one. Might make your charge a little bit harder.
And the Plasmancer has his Plasmic Lance, shooting at that Assault Intercessor. D3 shots, 2. Hitting on 3s, 1. Wounding on a 3, no. Speaking of which, the Scorpic Destroyers will declare a charge on Squad Oscars. Needing a 9, getting a 10.
They're in.
Yes, we make it to there like that. And over here, the Plasmancer will charge this Assault Intercessor because I need him to go away so I can take that objective. His charge, 5 is enough. Making it to there, staying in the ruins. Then, at the start of the fight phase, his Living Lightning goes off, so on a 4+, that Intercessor might take a mortal wound. On 4+, oh he does, down to 1 wound. We'll select the Scorpic Destroyers to attack first, so they get to pile in. So we'll pile in like this, and everybody's within an inch of somebody, so they get to fight. We'll do the 2 on either side with the Hyperphage Threshers first. They have 3 attacks each plus 1 for their weapons, so 4 each. Hitting on 3s, and they can reroll 1s because they are hardwired for destruction into 2 more hits, so 8 hits. Wounding on 3s because they're strength 5, but these are at AP minus 3, and 2 damage each.
6+ saves.
That is the end of Squad Oscars, and that's a point for the Scorpic Destroyers. Now the Plasmaster gets to go. Watch out, he has 1 attack, hitting on a 3. No, it missed. I'm going to spend my command point, reroll that. Don't have any other use for it, and I really need this Intercessor dead. Oh, it hit. Wounds on 3, strength 7. Yes, it did. And it's AP minus 3.
6+.
Oh,
Get it in the box. Yes!
That's a 6. That's a shame because that Intercessor has objective secured, being a troop's choice, so he still controls that objective. And he gets to hit back as well, and he was charged, so he gets an extra attack.
4 attacks, hitting on 3, 6 is auto wound. 2 hits. I can reroll 1. No. And wounds on 4s. Nothing.
So there's the board state at the end of Battle Round 2. The Necrons have taken this objective down the bottom left corner from the Space Marines, but the Space Marines have held on to the Necrons' home objective. So we'll be on to Space Marines turn 3. So at the start of the command phase, the Space Marines gain a command point, and at the end they gain 20 victory points to go up to 40. That's because they control 1 or more objectives, including that one there, and they also control the objective in my deployment zone, which is this one over here, because the Assault Intercessor has objective secured, and so he trumps the Plasmancer. Don't get the 30 victory points because the Necrons also control 2 objectives. The movement is done.
The Squad Galanis, the Bolt Rifle Intercessors, and Lieutenant Escadon have moved up to get closer to the Plasmancer. The last surviving member of Squad Leos has fallen back, so he doesn't die at the start of the fight phase, and we can shoot the Plasmancer. And the Eradicators have moved up as well, but they're turning to fire at the Scorpic Destroyers.
So on to the shooting phase.
So I'll start with the Eradicators. I'm going to use Total Obliteration on the Scorpic Destroyers. Yeah, we are going to be within 12, so within 12 of this Scorpic, so we will get the +2 damage for being within 12 inches. So we have 3 shots, hitting on 3s. I used 1 Marshal to reroll that 2. Oh, into a 2, so that's 2 hits. Wounding on 3s, rerolling 1s. 1 wound.
It's minimum damage, it's AP minus 5 because we're in the Tactical Doctrine, and it's minimum damage 3, which is enough to just kill 1 model.
Yeah.
We're going to kill this one here, but he does get to reanimate because they shoot twice, so I get to reanimate after the first one.
And then the second volley, he also hitting on 3s. Oh, they all hit. Wounding on 3s, rolling 1s. Oh, we roll that 1.
Oh.
Into a wound.
Yeah. So because they're shooting again, and I pulled the one who's within 12, they don't get their +2 damage, so we'll have to roll it.
So roll for damage. The first one is 2.
But you can command point
One
that.
more command point that. You can get 2, and then the other one.
No, it doesn't matter, so it is only 1 dead.
Yeah.
And it will have to be this one because that one there that was remaining is the one in range of the objective, which I obviously need to hold. But he might reanimate. Better, but no.
Lieutenant Escadon is going to shoot next. He's going to shoot at the Plasmancer. 2 shots hitting on 2s. Both hit. Wounding on 3s.
Toughness 4.
2 wounds.
And a mortal wound.
Oh yeah, and a
From
mortal
that
wound.
6. No AP, so 4+ saves. That's 2 damage, and the mortal wound in addition means that he's going to die. Last monster is killed, and that's a mark for Lieutenant Escadon.
Yeah. And only the Intercessors, Squad Gallanist left. These 2 Intercessors can see the remaining Scorpec, and Sarge is inside the obscuring terrain piece, so he can see out through it. So he might as well shoot at the Scorpec as well, actually. So we have 6 shots, hitting on 3s. I get to reroll 1 because of Bomb Marshal. 4 hits. Wounding on 5s, rerolling 1s. Oh, 2 wounds.
Which are AP -2 because Tactical Doctrine, but I am in cover, so ultimately 4+. Which I failed both of.
And he's
So
down to 1 wound.
to 1 wound.
But he holds the objective.
And the Destroyer doesn't have to take a morale test because he's leadership 10. Well, that'll be it for Space Marines turn 3. On to Necrons turn 3. At the start of my command phase, he regains a wound thanks to Living Metal, and I also gain a command point. And at the end of my command phase, I gain 30 victory points because I hold 2 objectives for the Space Marines 1, and I hold the one in their deployment zone. And both of these objectives here become under my control. I can move away from them now as well. My movement phase is very short. The Scorpec Destroyer has moved up. He can move away from the objective to get close to the Eradicators. And the Necron Warriors have moved back a bit, and they can all see the Intercessor squad over there around the obscuring ruin. So on to the shooting phase. And then the Necron Warriors will shoot at the Intercessors. They're all in rapid fire range, and I will play the Relentless Onslaught stratagem, so when firing with rapid fire weapons, unmodified 6s to hit score an additional hit. So that uses my command point, and then we've got 16 shots, hitting on 3s, 6s, for 2 hits. Taking the extra hits into account, that's 12 hits, wounding on 4s, 6.
Then we got 3+ saves.
4+.
So failed 3. Now take away this one. And he'll take a wound.
And that brings us swiftly to the charge phase, where the Scorpec Destroyer will charge the Eradicators. Needs a 5, and I don't have anything to reroll. Oh, 6. So he gets himself to there. He has 4 attacks, hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s. 2 1s, 2 hits. Into 2 1s, so 2 hits. Wounding on 4s. 2 wounds though, at AP -3.
6 pluses. Oh.
Made both.
Eradicators get 10 attacks back. Hitting on 3s. 6s auto wound because you're an infantry unit. So there's 1 auto wound. I can reroll that 1 because of Bomb Marshal into a hit. And then wounding on 5s, rerolling 1s. Reroll those 1s. Or into 2 more wounds.
3 wounds with no AP, so I'm a 3+ save. Failed 1, so it's down to 1 wound again. And that's it. That's the end of my turn, and so on to Space Marines turn 4. In the command phase, the Space Marines gain 10 victory points because they only hold 1 objective at the moment, and a command point.
Squad Sideris, the Eradicator, is going to stay in combat with that Scorpec. We might be able to kill it with our bolt pistols. Escadon's going to move up into the ruin so that he can support both of these squads. Squad Gallanist, the Intercessor, is just going to move around the ruin. And the last Assault Intercessor is just going to reclaim the Necron home objective. So I'll start the shooting phase with the Eradicators. They've got their bolt pistols. Got 3 shots hitting on 3s. Reroll that 2 because of Bomb Marshal. Missed. Wounding on 5s, rerolling 1s. Oh, there's a wound.
There's a wound, and we're in the Assault Doctrine now, so AP -1, 4+. Oh, I don't have command point. So the last Scorpec Destroyer is killed, and that's another mark on both tallies for the Eradicators.
We'll do the Assault Intercessor next. He's got his heavy bolt pistol, which is going to be in range of the Necron Warriors. 1 shot hitting on 3. He hits. Wounds on a 4. He wounds. AP -2.
6+. Oh, I made a 6.
And then Escadon will shoot his Neo-Volkite pistol at them as well. 2 shots, hitting on 2s. Hit. Wounding on 3s. 1 wound.
Also AP -1. Assault Doctrine. Oh, another 6.
Blimey. And then the Intercessor squad will shoot at the Necron Warriors. We've got 8 shots hitting on 3s. We get to reroll 1 at least. Into a miss, good job. 4 hits, wounding on 4s, rerolling 1s. Good job, we can reroll 1s. No.
Oh, only 1.
1 wound.
Which I failed, so do take 1 out at least. Although he does get to reanimate, potentially. No. I guess we'll take the closest one out, just in case it makes the charge slightly failable.
And in the charge phase, the Intercessor squad will charge the Necron Warriors. To charge of. Failed. So 2 inches is actually enough to get me in range, but I am going to re-roll it to see if I can get some more distance, because I might be able to snag that objective. Oh, 10, that's easy enough.
They finish their charge like that, and there are 2 models within 3 inches of this objective here, so that actually takes it away from me, so I shall remove that marker. And they can also fight because they are within half an inch of the people in the front row.
And then Escadon will also declare a charge on the Necron warriors. He gets a charge distance of 3. That's definitely not enough.
So on to the fight phase, and the intercessors get to attack.
We have 13 attacks hitting on 3s and 6s automatically wounded. That's 2 auto wounds. I get to reroll 1 because of Bomb Marshal. Into a hit. Wounding on 4s. 3.
5 plus saves because we're in the Assault Doctrine. We made 2, and then we get our reanimation protocols, which don't save any, so 3 die. So I took 3 away.
And then the 3 regular intercessors are going to consolidate to try and stop any of the Necrons piling in to get closer to the objective.
Yeah, because I could potentially pile in and consolidate random and get more troops units closer to the objective, and I get my attacks. 4 attacks hitting on 3s, 2, and wounding on 4s. 1 with no AP.
3 plus, saved.
And that will be the end of the turn. I only lost 4 Necron warriors, so I don't need to take a morale test. And we'll be on to Necron's turn 4. I gain a command point, and we're going up to 50 victory points. I gain 20 for holding 1 objective, but the one I hold is the one in the Space Marine deployment zone, so that gives me an additional 10. The only movement is the warriors, who will fall back like this. They're quite spread out, they are in coherency, but just because this guy on the top there, because of where the wall is, he can only go there, so I had to try and remain in coherency. But I can't shoot or anything, so that's going to be the end of my turn. So we're on to Space Marines, turn 5.
Gain a command point, and I'll gain 30 victory points because I hold 3 objectives to your 1, and I hold your home objective, so I get a maximum of up to 80. So movement, Escadon and the Eradicators are just going to move towards the Necron warriors, so the Eradicators moving into the ruin so they can shoot out of it. Last Assault Intercessor is just going to stay where he is. And the Intercessors, these 3 have stood where they are, and the Wounded Man has moved across so he's out of Escadon's way if he needs to charge, and it'll be on to the shooting phase. I'm going to start with Squad Leos. He's going to fire his pistol. 1 shot hitting on 3, rerolling because of Bomb Marshal, into a hit. Wounds on a 4, yeah it does, you get -2.
Oh, he killed one. Well, it might do, might reanimate. Oh, it did. This one is going to die.
Yeah.
And somehow it reanimated over there, which is allowed to do because it's in coherency with the other.
Just going to reanimate your way onto the objective. Okay. So I'll do the Eradicators next. 3 shots hitting on 3s, they all hit. Wounding on 2s, rerolling 1s. That's 3 dead.
They get to reanimate with the first round of shots. All 1 did. So these 3 will die, and then one of them is going to miraculously reanimate close to the objective over there. But then they get to shoot again.
And then they get to shoot again, hitting on 3s. Oh. Reroll because of Bomb Marshal. No! I'll do the Intercessors next. 8 shots hitting on 3s. Get to reroll 1 because of Bomb Marshal. Into a hit. 6 hits, wounding on 4s, rerolling 1s. Reroll that 1. 4 wounds. AP -1, so 5 pluses, all made 2. And then they're dead, so they don't get to reanimate because there's only 2 of them left. That is the last of the Necrons destroyed. So that is the end of the Space Marine turn. So I can't do anything. In the next turn, the Necrons will gain 20 victory points and go up to 70. Yeah, because I still hold that objective over there, and the Space Marines can't get to it. Yeah, and it's my home objective. But then we'll end the game with a Space Marine victory, 80 victory points to 70. So now we'll go on and do all the post-battle stuff. So we've got all our units lined up for a post-battle sequence, and the victor bonus for this mission is that 2 units can be marked for greatness, so the Space Marines can do that, but first of all, we have to take out-of-action tests for units that were killed. So that's obviously going to be all of mine. Yeah, and only of 1, which is Squad Oscus. Yeah, so we'll do them first. So on 1... They're fine. And then I've got Photis the Plasmancer on 1. No, he's alright. His 2 Crypto Thralls, they're alright. The Scorpec Destroyers, of course they roll a 1. So that means I can choose one of 2 things. I can either subtract d6 experience from them and they gain none from this battle, so that would just basically mean they end on 0, but they're also the only unit in this battle that killed anything, so they would get the Reaper objective. Or I can give them a Battle Scar, which hinders them in some way. I think I will go for the Battle Scar because I do want to give them some experience. There is technically one on the generic Battle Scars I could pick that would have absolutely no effect on them. I could give them -1 leadership and -1 to combat attrition tests, which they'll never have to take. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to give them the special one from the Necrons book, which is called Mindless Reaper, which allows them to reroll all hit rolls rather than just ones, but it means that when they declare a charge, they always have to charge the closest unit. Clearly the remaining one, whose swords bounced off the armour of that Eradicator and then got shot with a pistol, is clearly gone utterly mad. So we'll go with that. And actually the Necron's special battle scars do not decrease the Crusade points of a unit, unlike normal battle scars, so they won't be down to negative Crusade points.
And we've got Phalanx Aleph, who are the Gauss Flayer warriors. Oh, that's a 1 for them. I'm just going to take D6 experience points away from them, and they don't gain any from the battle, so they'll just stay on 0, because they'll only be getting 1 anyway. Phalanx Bet. Rolled a 2. Scarabs. Alright, with a 4. And now we're on to experience, so every unit that took part of the battle gains an experience point, except in this case, Phalanx Aleph. Then we can mark unit for greatness, or in Space Marine's case they can mark 2, because of being the victors.
I guess it's fair to mark the Eradicators for greatness. I mean, they did wipe out 3 units and kill the Scorpic Destroyers, so I'll do them. And the Assault Intercessors as well. Even though the Sergeant blew himself up, I think the Survivor acquitted himself well.
And I will pick my Scorpic Destroyers, the Avengers, because they're the only unit that really achieved anything in this game. The Necron Warriors at the end did do something, but because they rolled a 1, they weren't getting experience anyway, so it just leaves the Scorpic Destroyers, really, who managed to do anything. And then we also gain experience points for every 3rd unit killed, so that only affects the Eradicators. They killed 3 units, so they gain another experience point. And finally, agendas achieved, so we both picked Reaper.
And the Eradicators gained that, they got 3 kills.
Yeah. And on my side, again, the Scorpic Destroyers got my only destroyed unit kill, so they will gain the 2 extra experience points. And the next thing is Battle Honours gained, so both the Eradicators and the Scorpic Destroyers have 6 experience, which takes them up to the next rank, which is Bloodied. The Eradicators are actually on 7.
Yeah, and I'm going to give them the Marksman's Honours Battle Honour, which increases their ballistic skill of each model in the unit by 1. They were pretty accurate until the end.
But yeah, that's one of the ones from the Space Marine Codex. So they will all be ballistic skill 2+, which is pretty scary. And the Scorpic Destroyers, I'm going to pick the Fleet of Foot battle trait, which gives them +1 to their movement and to advance and charge rolls. Because they did make a pretty long charge in this game, so that seems appropriate, and it will improve their effectiveness hopefully as well, especially with all their improved damage abilities. And so that just leaves us with all of our paperwork to do, so we've done that here, but this is the first time you'll be seeing our Crusade rosters, so I'll just quickly go through what's on them and what changes we've made since the battle. So, having a look at the Space Marines, this is Strike Force Palamas after Captain Eros Palamas.
Yeah, so we have Captain Palamas. He's the one from Indomitus, so he has the Mastercrafted Power Sword and the Relic Shield. I also spent a requisition to give him the Champion of Humanity Warlord trait. Then we have Lieutenant Escadon. You saw him in the battle, and his Warlord trait is the Accomplished Duelist one. And we have Veteran Squad Marcos, a squad of veteran intercessors, and I used the special requisition from the Space Marine Codex. It's called Veterans of the Indomitus Crusade. So they start with 6 experience, and I gave them the service studs. In my command phase, I can choose which combat doctrine then. So they'll probably be in the tactical doctrinal game. Also, we have the Dreadnought, Ancient Argento, and Redemptor Dreadnought. And then we have the 3 intercessor squads. There's Squad Galenus, who are bolt rifles, Squad Oscus, who are stalker bolt rifles, and Squad Leos, who are assault intercessors. We have Squad Andreas, the Hellblaster squad, Squad Sideris, who are the Eradicator squad, and then there's a land speeder called the Swiftblade, which we still have on loan from some other chapter. Technically not a Primaris unit, but maybe will get replaced in the future.
And you can see that the Eradicator squad Sideris gained a Crusade point thanks to their battle trait that they got in that battle, and otherwise the Crusade points are just for the things that requisition was spent on initially.
I also spent 2 requisition to increase my supply limit to 60.
And just a quick look at my Necron order of battle. This is the Glorious Legions of Overlord Necho. But basically this list is the contents of the Indomitus box set. So we've got Overlord Necho, who's an Overlord with Hyperphase Glaive and Tachyon Arrow. I spent a Crusade point to give him the Enduring Will Warlord trait, which reduces all damage he takes by 1, to a minimum of 1. Photis the Plasmaster, who you saw in this game. He doesn't have anything on him. Then Apophis the Butcher is the Scorpic Destroyer Lord. He has a Crusade point spent on him to give him a Nano Scarab Casket, which means he regains 2 wounds thanks to his Living Metal ability rather than just 1. Setna, the Royal Warden, he has a Crusade point for the Celtec specific Warlord trait, which is Hyperlogical Strategist, who lets me regain command points on a 5+ when I spend them. Then we've got Phalanx Aleph, who are the warriors with Gauss Flayers, and Phalanx Bet are the warriors with Gauss Reapers. The Avengers, they're the Scorpic Destroyers, and they've got a Crusade point thanks to their battle trait, and they didn't have it reduced, as I said, because they got the special Necron Battle Scar, which doesn't reduce Crusade points. Then we've got a Plasma Sight, which I didn't give any special name to. Canoptech Scarabs, which I just called 1 and 2. The Swarm 1 will have been in this game, and the Crypto Thralls likewise were in this game. And then finally the Eye of Necho is the Canoptech Reanimator. So I spent 3 requisition points on relics and warlord traits, and another one to increase my supply limit to 55, because the Necron contents of Indomitus come to 51 power in total. And I've got 2 left over, including the one gained from this game. There we are, that was the first game in our Crusade narrative campaign. So we'll recap all of that and give you our thoughts on it now. So that was the first game in the Mystery of Artana III Crusade campaign. How do you think that went?
I think it's certainly a lot closer in the end than it looked, because it looked like I was fairly comfortably on top of you.
Well, you were. I mean, you tabled me, but I wasn't that far behind, actually.
Yeah, you taking my home objective, definitely up to you. And I think I did make some mistakes. When the Assault Intercessors charged the Plasmancer, I should have consolidated into melee in range of him, because he's not that dangerous in melee, and it would have stopped his aura going off and killing one of them.
Or at least he couldn't fall back and do so anyway.
Yeah.
I think if he'd stayed in melee, I think he can still do it.
Oh, okay. But I think moving away from the objective with the survivor was a mistake. I should have left him there and assumed I could shoot the Plasmancer.
Because as it was, you abandoned the objective, which
cost me 10 victory points.
Yeah.
And playing the objective is definitely important. It was just this mission that has it, where you can maintain control of objectives even if you're near them. It's certainly handy. I can see fast units being handy in that respect. And I probably should have moved the Eradicators closer to the Destroyers so that I could guarantee they were all within 12 inches.
I also think you rolled exceptionally well for your first shooting phase as well. I don't remember if you missed that much, but I think everything wounded, I think.
I think the Eradicators got a miss, but yeah, every shot they hit wounded.
I think you killed like 8 or 9 models in that shooting phase, so it's not that many, and my Necron warriors were still viable after that, but it was just the fact that you took away that objective from me and hurt my chances of doing anything back to you, I think, was pretty good. I did have a couple of moments of luck. Like, I think you probably should have killed off the Scorpic Destroyers in that one shooting phase, and I was lucky that one survived. And I think I was also lucky to make their initial charge as well, rolling a 10. But on the other hand, you also rolled a double 6 for an armor save, so the Scorpic Destroyer bounced off as well. So.
Yeah, and a 6 for the Assault Intercessor as well.
Yeah.
And I did get unlucky at times, but it was at times it didn't matter. Like the Assault Intercessor striking the Plasmancer, I think he didn't cause any wounds. And
on the subject of the Plasmancer, he didn't really do much. He had the potential to do a lot more than 2 or 3 mortal wounds or whatever he did in the game. I think I rolled 1 twice for his Harbinger of Destruction ability. Could have done up to 3 both times.
I think you spent 4 command points to kill 2 Intercessors.
That's true, I think I did. I think that was a combination of just... I got poor wounds on one of them, but I think really just the fact that you're in cover. Yeah, I also think it's interesting that 10 Necron Warriors cost more power than 5 Intercessors with bolt rifles, but I think the Intercessors, to be honest, are more effective.
With the tactical doctrines, I think it's mainly the Ultramarine bonus from when you're in the tactical doctrine that you can move and still get bolted discipline.
Yeah, it's the extra AP. You're much more effective in melee, better armor save. I suppose the increased power for the Necrons is from the fact that you can bring them back.
Yeah, no power might assume that you also have the command protocols.
Yeah, so that does actually bring up something I do want to talk about, which is obviously I did deliberately not include a noble model in my army, which would have been the Overlord. I only have 1 noble on my roster. So I didn't get to use part of my rules I get for being a Necron army. Partly the reason for that was narrative. We wanted to make this a sort of small initial game, and I didn't really want the main villain to be in the game.
Didn't want the 2 main commanders to face off against each other.
Partly that. It was also because this is my very first time playing Necrons, and it was just another rule to try and remember. And I don't know, we'll have to see how they do, because looking at them on paper, they don't actually look that effective, at least not compared to something like combat doctrines that the Space Marines get, because you have to predict which one you're going to need in every turn.
Yeah, I'm not sure which. It's the whole predict the future aspect.
Actually, the Sartek, I think it's Conquering Tyrant, which is actually one of the worst, I think, so it's not really that useful. What I could have done is not had the Plasmancer and his 2 Crypto Thralls and brought the Overlord instead. I think that would have been more effective, actually, to be honest, but the Eradicators probably would have killed him, no problem, but he could have taken on basically anything else in your army, I reckon.
Yeah, and I know complained a lot in Congress about how Primaris were lacking in anti-tank, or at least high strength, high AP, high damage attacks, and then the Eradicators come on. I do think they killed 3 of your units.
They probably should have killed the Destroyers. That extra damage in half range means that you only have to hit and wound, really. And we did say in our look at the Space Marine Codex that we thought the Eradicators are a very strong unit, and I'm not saying anything to disprove that at this point.
In our little narrative, the idea is that we've been tracking Lord Felthius, and we've been found on Artana III, and we've come to investigate the strange seismic activity, and apparently this has awoken the Necrons, and these strange archaeotech devices that you might have seen on the battlefield. Perhaps they have something to do with it. So we came in tooled up to fight Death Guard and encountered Necrons instead.
Turns out that what's effective against Death Guard is also fairly effective against Necrons, but it's interesting to make a comparison between reanimation protocols rules and discussing the resilient as well, because on one level they're pretty much still a 5+ to ignore wounds. They happen at slightly different times. Admittedly, after only 1 game, I'm inclined to say that disgusting resilient is better, because firstly, reanimation protocols only apply if the unit is still alive at the end of the shooting.
Well, then if a Scorpic Destroyer takes 3 damage, they just die, and then you need to make 3 5+ rolls to come back, rather than 1 to survive. The only thing better about reanimation protocols is that you die, and then when you come back, you can be put somewhere else. So you can technically gain movement out of it.
Yeah, it does actually say that you can't move them closer to an opponent in the charge phase, but otherwise you're free to put them wherever you want as long as it's within coherency, yeah. So you can, as I try to do, get extra movement out of it or reanimate my way onto an objective. I'm also not sure that the reanimation protocols are, again, on limited evidence, they don't seem to be better than the old ones, which was that you didn't get it after you were attacked, but at the start of your turn, every model in a damaged unit could potentially come back. So with a 3-wound destroyer, that's really good if you draw a 5+. You get a whole destroyer back. This method might be better for larger 1-wound units like the warriors. We shall see. Again, as I say, I'm brand new to Necrons, so I'm also limited by the models that I have from Indomitus. I don't have any, well, I have 1 or 2 other Necron units, but you've got a relatively large Space Marine collection to choose from.
Still got, I mean, my collection's the stuff from Indomitus plus Conquest.
I mean, you've by no means tailored your list to be good against Necrons or anything, but you can, there are some things in my list I probably wouldn't have included if I probably wouldn't have had 4 characters, for example.
Yeah, I mean, you probably would have had more actual units.
Yeah, because I'm never going to bring, unless we do a large 50 power or so game, I'm never going to bring all 4 of them. And by the same token, we're likely to see 2 units of warriors and some Scorpic destroyers in most games. And the plan is we will build up to some bigger games, probably not in the next episode, but the size of the games will increase, but we'd start off small.
We have a plan for the next one. We'll sort of see where the narrative goes, as opposed to, we haven't written out a complete narrative for this, we'll just see how it goes.
But I think that's probably all for now. Probably plenty more we could say, but it'd be interesting to see how this develops. I'm sure it'll be interesting to see what some other units do and that sort of thing. Let us know what you think as well. Also, if you have some advice for playing Necrons, then I'd appreciate that, because I'm brand new to them, so what to do with them. Yeah, but if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and consider subscribing. Leave any comments you might have. Yeah, we've been the Tabletop Donkeys, and we will see you in the next one.
Bye for now.